smoking and feel great for only $49.99 guaranteed. Tuesday, April 1st at the American Lodge and Suites Fergus Falls Conference Center. Weight loss seminar at 5:30. Registration at 5. Stop smoking seminar at 8. Learn more at markpatrickseminars.com.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
Now we got the camera on. Good Wednesday morning. Oh, Mary, it's been a week. I had to double check what day it was.
Yeah, you have to, sometimes you just have to sit back and think for a moment, what the heck day is this?
I had to sit there and flip around the screen, and it's like, okay, there we go. It says Wednesday.
Oh, boy. Yeah, well, it's middle of the work week. You made it through the first couple of days, and I think the weather, as you and I have been talking about, I mean, it was chilly, but it warmed up in the afternoon. I know Monday ended up being such a beautiful day. It was great to be outside. I went for an early morning walk this morning, and yesterday morning it was beautiful. At that point, there was no wind. It was pretty crisp, and I should have had mittens on this morning, or gloves,
Mittens.
and I didn't, and it was cold. I had to keep alternating pockets. So anyway, yeah. But other than that, pretty nice. And I don't know what we're up against today for temperatures.
It shouldn't be too bad. Looking at the forecast, popping up around 49. We do have a little bit of rain and sleet kind of mixing later on tonight as we drop down to about 32. So chance for snow, though, this weekend. Rain pretty much Friday through the weekend. A little mix of rain and snow off and on.
Okay, well, that does not sound very good. But the last two times they've told us that was going to happen,
It didn't happen.
it didn't. So I hope third time's not a charm. Oh, my goodness. Well, I don't know about you, but of course, we have heard a lot in the last 24 hours about this debacle
Oh,
with
yeah.
information being leaked because a reporter from a magazine was inadvertently added to a text thread.
You didn't think the people on the text thread would have said, hey, what's this 612 number?
Well, I don't know. Whoever sets up those threads, first of all, I don't know why they, for any reason, are on a platform that isn't absolutely secure. I
Yeah.
just don't understand that. I don't care what they say, if they're talking about puppies and kittens and the weather, or they're talking about international espionage. I mean, I don't care what they're talking about. They shouldn't be on a platform that isn't completely secure.
And it was funny because the prevailing message yesterday was, well, nothing classified. There's nothing really classified in it. And then the reporter released a little bit of that Pete Hegseth was mentioning, and then Derek brought it in and showed it to me, and I'm like, that'd be classified, talking
Yeah,
about the F-18 strike package. And
Right. I just think, I don't know, the whole thing smells a little bit to me. It's really hard for me to believe that people in these positions were so careless.
yeah,
It almost, okay, so here's the conspiracy theorist in me. It's almost like, look over here, and then something else is going on over
the
here.
magician.
See? They want this to be top of the news cycle. I don't know. Probably not. It probably was just a stupid and fairly
Mistake, yeah.
careless mistake. Well, the Atlantic,
Sloppy.
yeah, very sloppy. And the Atlantic, which is the magazine from which the editor came, the Atlantic published Wednesday what it described as the attack plans at the center of signal text chain leaked involving senior officials in the Trump administration. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and National Security Advisor Mike Walls have faced calls to resign following revelations that the outlet's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, was inadvertently added to a private group chat earlier this month in which Hegseth, Walz, Vice President J.D. Vance, and other top administration officials reportedly discussed impending airstrikes on Yemeni's Houthi rebels. Hegseth had said nobody was texting war plans, and Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard vowed during a Senate Intelligence Committee hearing Tuesday that there was no classified material in those messages.
I after hearing that, it's like brings me back to one of the TV shows I like watching, and that is Family Feud. It'd be like Steve Harvey turned around and says, "Survey says,
Yeah.
ding, that's a lie."
Yeah, I know. Well, okay, so here's a little bit of what he published.
Yeah.
Team update. Time now, 11:45 Eastern Time. Weather is favorable. Just confirmed with CENTCOM we are go for mission launch. And then first strike package. Trigger-based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is his known location, so should be on time. Also, strike drones launch, MQ-9s. Hegseth apparently wrote in a screenshot of a text message released Wednesday by The Atlantic. I don't know. Those sound pretty
That's
specific.
classified.
That sounds pretty specific to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it goes on. Waltz later allegedly wrote, the first target, their top missile guy, we had positive ID of him walking into his girlfriend's building, and it's now collapsed. Excellent, read a message in response. So, I don't know. That seems really incriminating to me.
On the bright side, they got the top missile guy and his girlfriend.
Well, they did. They did. However, I mean, really, we've seen some debacles.
Seen a lot of dumb, but that is dumb.
This is kind of a big one. And it is being so downplayed. Now, this is one of those times when we say, if this had happened and we had President Joe Biden in office, we would be screaming at the top of our lungs.
Yep.
And every Republican would be screaming at the top of their lungs, as are
The Democrats.
the Democrats. And I kind of don't blame them.
No, that's
This is
a
bad.
big deal.
This is a
Yeah.
bad deal. And the fact that even the president is kind of saying, it was a mistake.
I would.
He learned his lesson.
I'd love to have been a fly on the wall when Trump was told about this.
Wow.
This mistake is huge. It's tremendously huge. It's bad. It's bad. It's about as bad as it can get.
But when I don't know why that they would choose to lie, because this reporter has screenshots of the text thread. So it's sort of
It's like they
you're
learned
sort
from.
of dead in the water there.
It's like they learned from the Biden administration.
Wow. And so now we don't trust that.
Shaggy works for the White House. Wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I don't know. I'm just really disappointed in the way that it was handled. Did he deserve to lose his job? Maybe. I mean, any of these guys, what's to say that they won't be as sloppy in the future? I would like to know what exactly they had changed so that something like this would never happen again. That's what I would like to hear.
Well,
But I don't want to hear, it was no big deal. He, made a mistake. He learned his lesson. This could have been a really, really big lesson.
yeah.
I don't know. Those mistakes just shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
It's like somebody who's paid millions and millions and millions of dollars to play basketball in the NBA. And then they step up to the line to take a free throw and it's a brick. You can't do that. You are paid a lot of money to sink those shots.
Nope.
Kind of the same thing. These guys have a big job to do and they didn't even kind of do it.
They airballed it.
Wow. Terrible.
But they did get the guy, so hey.
They did get the guy. Then I'm reading this headline. Democrats win the 5th straight special election in the House race. So they hold Pennsylvania State House with a special election. So, well, this is Pennsylvania. So, but still. And, once in a while, who's the knucklehead from, is it Pennsylvania? The guy that wore the hoodie all the time?
Oh yeah,
and the
hoodie.
shorts?
Yep.
You know who I mean?
Yeah, his
We'll
last name
come up
starts with
with
an
it.
F.
Fetterman.
Fetterman, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. He has actually come out a couple of times and said things
That makes
against his
sense.
party
Yeah.
that are totally common sense. And if you would have asked me, a couple of years ago, if I would ever agree with Fetterman, I would have laughed out loud. But hey, maybe he's turning out not to be such a big knucklehead after all. So what does that say? Is it just that state? I don't know. But we talk about the rhetoric. We've talked about you know inflammatory rhetoric, especially now from the Democrats. And it doesn't matter what happens, they just go to the boards, and it's just plain old mean. Well, now Texas Governor Greg Abbott, he's hitting back because this Representative Jasmine Crockett, a Democrat from Texas, has just been
Oh, yeah.
super inflammatory. She spoke at a human rights campaign dinner. Get that, human rights campaign dinner in LA over the weekend, where she referred to um, Greg Abbott as Governor Hot Wheels. He's in a wheelchair.
Yep.
Okay, so then she says, wait, no, I was thinking about the planes, trains, and automobiles he used to transfer migrants to communities. I was not talking about his wheelchair. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, they're planning. There's actually a representative who is Republican from Texas, Randy Weber, told Fox News Digital that he is planning to introduce a censure resolution against the lawmaker for her venomous rhetoric.
But I mean, we've learned that the censure doesn't mean anything.
No, I totally agree. Yeah. Anyway, this one makes me really sad, and it's such a ridiculous reason to cancel anything. I guess cancel culture is not gone for good. There's a Seattle suburb canceled its upcoming Coffee with a Cop. Now they do this to bring, to kind of forge relationships between
Yeah.
kids and families and local police. Well, they canceled it because protests started because the coffee shop's owner is a Christian.
Wow.
Seattle radio host Jason Rance reported that the city of Shoreline, Washington, canceled the community event, which aims to strengthen the relationship between police officers and residents, after the city's Facebook page was flooded with negative comments from liberals upset that Pilgrim Coffee House would host the event because the owners and because of their Christian beliefs. Pilgrim Coffee House is owned by Keith Carpenter, head pastor of Epic Life Church. The church states it believes marriage is between one man and one woman on its website, and that is probably the underlying reason for them to protest. Commenters vowed to hold a protest, and one even called for the coffee shop to leave the city, saying that the Carpenters' views on marriage did not align with the progressive city's ideals.
Wow.
Yep. So as you can imagine, lots of rainbow shirts and not so nice comments on signs outside. But anyway, because they are Christian, they had to cancel that because all of these negative comments on Facebook.
Ridiculous.
Did they really need to cancel that though?
No.
I think they folded. I think that was
Yep.
unfortunate.
Yep.
But anyway,
The bullies win.
and it's a good event.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you want to get in the way of that? Yeah.
It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it sure is. Let's see what else we have. West Virginia has implemented a comprehensive ban on foods containing specific artificial dyes and additives, citing potential health risks. Governor Patrick Morrisey signed a bill outlawing 7 artificial dyes and 2 preservatives from food products and drugs sold in the state. I think of things that you can buy off the store shelf, and I can't even think of a good example, but I think, gosh, I wonder how long that was there. I know there's dates on everything, but still, something that is ready to eat and can just be on the shelf for months and months potentially, and we're taking it out of the package and eating it.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. And heaven knows I've done plenty of that over the years. I really try um, to buy fresh foods,
Yeah.
fruits, vegetables, that kind of thing, and fresh meat instead of, like one of the worst things you can do is buy that packaged sandwich meat.
Oh, I love that stuff.
I do too. But it's just full of not so good. Even pregnant women, doctors tell them absolutely no sandwich meat. How about that? Anyway, I think we just have to be a little bit more careful, and certainly dyes and additives are right near the top. Anyway, looks like they're going after them. Well, all right, more to come when we come back. 2 children and a man found during a miracle Alaska lake rescue. We'll tell you about that when we come back on Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
Presented by Fergus Falls Monument Company.
If you've ever been on the down and out, you know how much a helping hand really means. March is National Food Shelf Month, and demand is up a lot. Consider extending a hand and helping someone out with a donation to your local food shelf.
Atlas Outdoor Services is proud to support our local food shelf and encourages you to do the same. Let's roll into spring together by filling the food shelf. Thank you from Atlas Outdoor Services.
We know it's cold outside, but summer is closer than you think. It's time to start planning for that new shop you're building this summer. Don't forget about the most crucial detail, the garage door. Make it easy and give Easy Open Garage Door a call at 770-DOOR.
When a loved one passes, we understand that honoring and preserving your family legacy matters. Hi, I'm Ryan Welly with the Fergus Falls Monument Company. Creating your everlasting memorial is our specialty, and creating and crafting them locally is all that we do. Our inventory is extensive, so costs are manageable with an almost unlimited number of designs for you to choose. Your memorial preserves your family legacy with an everlasting warranty now and forever, guaranteed. Call us, visit us online at fergusfallsmonument.com. Memorials that matter.
There was this one time when our keynote presentation crashed because of outdated equipment. So embarrassing. I needed a venue that could handle our tech needs without a hiccup, and the Big Wood Event Center delivered. From their fast Wi-Fi to reliable microphones and projectors, everything worked great. It gave us peace of mind and it allowed us to put on a polished professional presentation. Their setup let us focus on what mattered most, getting our message across. Meetings with impact begin at bigwoodeventcenter.com.
You know that feeling when you're a part of something big? Something that makes you rise to your feet?
Buxton, Lopez. He struck him out. Carlos Correa.
There's nothing like Twins baseball. The vibe brings us together no matter what. It's time to show up and rise to the occasion. When we're together, the Twins rise as one. Rise with us. Opening day, April 3rd. First 10,000 fans get an opening day beanie courtesy of your local Northland Ford dealers.
Protect your livelihood with a livestock risk protection policy through Egg Country Farm Credit Services. With an LRP policy, you're covered if the market price unexpectedly drops for fed cattle, feeder cattle, or swine. Coverage options range from 70 to 100%. Get an LRP policy from a team that knows agriculture. Contact your local Egg Country office to learn more. Egg Country, focused on ag, focused on you. Egg Country is an equal opportunity lender and provider.
Markets this hour brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, a customer-owned cooperative.
Good morning. Market update on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Randy Conan. Grain markets trading mixed here at the moment. Wheat down a little bit. Corn mostly unchanged to slightly higher. And we've got soybeans trading a couple of pennies, so 4 to 5 cents higher here. Bauer trading analyst Ben Cash, trade pretty quiet, saying the trade's pretty quiet. Traders just kind of marking time ahead of Monday's USDA reports.
Not too much going on, end of the first quarter coming up too. So there's probably some repositioning, rebalancing going on in some of these, row crop markets right now. But overall, the weather, it's kind of uneventful. We've seen some good rains over the weekend in the northern Brazil on the second crop corn area. Here in the Midwest, we got a pretty active precip across the Midwest, which will, obviously benefit some of the winter wheat and, some moisture levels there prior to corn and soybean planting.
Seeing a choppy livestock trade here as well. Could be some profit taking going on.
Basically, buy the rumor, sell the fact. It seemed like going into that March cattle on feed report, it's pretty much as expected. Seeing placement numbers down has a lot to do with not seeing those Mexican feeder cattle imports here, placed on our feedlot. So, trade did a pretty decent job of pricing that in, it seems like, but kind of getting overbought. And I think you're seeing some profit taken into the end of the month and quarter here. Just a lot of risk exposure there in the cattle market, and still a lot of uncertainty with the tariff situation and, possible recession fears. So,
you're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
Do you dread the marketing aspect of your operation? Are you worried you might miss out on higher prices? Hi, I'm Christy with Van On & Company. Marketing nowadays seems to get trickier and trickier with the ever-changing news around. At Van On & Company, grain and livestock marketing is our main focus. Let us help you navigate the unknowns and create a sound marketing plan. Give us a call at 1-800-648-5494. 1-800-648-5494.
You're protected and appreciated. Irie Insurance.
Hi, this is Bethany Rentz, crop insurance agent with Irie Insurance. We've been protecting revenue and preserving equity for over 40 years. We provide a breakdown for farm programs such as the Farm Bill and Farm Safety Net. Partner with us to choose the right insurance coverage for your farm. Call us today to meet with an Irie Insurance agent to make your 2025 crop insurance selections prior to March 15th. Visit IrieINS.com. Irie Insurance is an equal opportunity provider.
The Red River Farm Network is highlighting the role of women in agriculture with our series, Agriculture. The focus made possible by the Minnesota Soybean Research and Promotion Council, Minnesota Corn Growers Association, North Dakota Corn Council, Van On & Company, and Ag Country Farm Credit Services. Leanne Schaefer is part of the Family Farm and Ranch at New Rockford, North Dakota, active on the Township Board, Fair Board, North Harvest Bean Growers Board, and more.
I feel like everybody has different talents and everybody has a story that they can bring to the table. Information of what's happening on their farm and ranch that is an impact on, the industry as a whole. It started out as a minor role and you kind of grow into different positions. I definitely feel like you have to give back to the industry that is providing your livelihood. And you have to make a difference. So not just let everybody else do the heavy lifting and doing the work, but you need to be out there as a spokesperson or at least involved in the conversation.
Follow the Agriculture series on the Red River Farm Network website and YouTube channel.
May wheat Minneapolis down a penny and a half, 587. Chicago May wheat's down 4 3/4. Kansas City down 2 3/4. May corn quarter penny higher, 458. December corn down a penny and 3/4, 447 1/4. May soybeans 5 cents higher, 10.06 3/4. November 4 higher, 10.10 1/2. In Winnipeg, May canola $10.60 a metric ton higher. April live cattle down 37 cents, 206. June down 57. April feeder cattle down 60 cents, 284.25. May down 65. April lean hogs are 22 cents higher at 86.87. May 27 cents higher. The Dow Jones Industrial Average 155 points higher. This is the Red River Farm Network.
Improve yield without an extra step with Quick Shot. Quick Shot is a quality fluency agent and full nutrient package in one ultimate planter box treatment. It provides all the benefits of enhanced flowability, improved singulation, and fewer skips, but with a powerful jolt of nourishment. Go with Quick Shot to help your seed reach its full yield potential. Contact your local Helena representative or authorized dealer for more information about Quick Shot. Always read and follow label instructions and check registration status before use.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back.
Totally changed my life.
It's amazing. I don't have any cravings. You want to quit, but have found it impossible? This is the thing for you. I have absolutely no craving. It's the darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results. Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
Early bird special, only $49.99 guaranteed. Because don't just cut down, but stop smoking. In addition, lose all the weight 100% guaranteed. With Mark Patrick Seminars, let hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings and lose the weight. That's right. Seminar Tuesday, April 1st at the American Lodge and Suites Fergus Falls Conference Center. Weight loss seminar at 5:30. Stop smoking seminar at 8. Registration 30 minutes before seminar. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
I once booked a venue that was a logistical nightmare, too far from the hotels and too hard to find. It made our entire event feel rushed and stressful. That's when I decided to try the Bigwood Event Center. Being right off the interstate and a hotel on site, it made travel easy for everyone. They took care of all the setup and cleanup, letting me focus on my presentation instead of the details. It made our event run so much smoother, and I'll never go back to the old way. Meetings with impact begin at bigwoodeventcenter.com.
Community is important, and you'll find it at Pioneer Point. Spacious apartments, thoughtfully designed for older adults, provide the best in senior living. Heated parking and elevator access makes life easy. Your neighbors at Pioneer Point hold a welcoming, family-like approach to living. Choosing from an array of special features and options, you'll find many ways to define your lifestyle at Pioneer Point. Call or schedule your tour online today at pioneercare.org.
Whoa, dudes, got a case of cabin fever? Let's cure it. Retro tropical style. The Fergus Falls Craft Beer Tour, presented by Builders First Source, is hitting the Bigwood Event Center on Friday, May 2nd from 5 to 9. Rock those neon windbreakers. Soak up the vibes and sip unlimited craft beverages. Have some fun in the indoor sun with your crew and support a local nonprofit. New this year, all VIP attendees get a fresh pair of pitties. Yeah, don't miss out. Surf on over to craftbeertours.com. Your next favorite beer is here.
It's News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Fergus Now app on your phone. A forecast for today, 48 for our high, 31 for tonight. Well, slight chance of seeing some precipitation. Best chance, though, for the weekend. 56 for Thursday's high. We'll hit 50 on Friday, 39 for Saturday, 41 on Sunday. Mary, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of it getting cold over the weekend.
I know.
Especially with the chance of rain and snow. Right now, Fergus Falls, 34. Morning Talk this morning and every morning brought to you by our good friends over at Pioneer Care and at Fergus Falls Monument.
All right. Well, I told you I would tell you about that miracle rescue. I love hearing stories like this. And you might have already seen this. I think I saw it for the first time yesterday. A man and 2 children were found alive after their plane crashed on an Alaskan lake. So it looked, I think he was going to make like a emergency landing, and then the ice was not solid. The 3 family members were found on March 24th with non-life-threatening life-threatening injuries. All 3 were found 12 hours after their plane went down on the lake. When I first saw the wing out there, it broke my heart because I know what happens when airplanes break through the ice. This was a good Samaritan that happened to see them, and when he saw that wing, he thought, "Oh boy, nothing good here." I called the troopers immediately. I didn't expect that we would find them. Alaska State Troopers report that 2 young passengers were elementary and middle school age. The aircraft is being recovered, and they were spotted sitting on the wing, I believe.
Wow.
So, yeah, it sounded like they went in for this emergency landing, and then the ice wasn't solid, so they kind of sunk a little bit. Anyway, all 3 of them rescued by some, I don't know, I guess you can't really say passerby. I don't know how the person saw them, but anyway.
We'll probably get word that it crashed in that area. Hey, Timmy, can you go and look?
Yeah. So anyway, that's a great thing. Let's go back to that debacle in Washington for just a moment. Give you a little bit of background on that app. It's called Signal.
Signal.
Yep. And of course, it's been in the news after the Atlantic's editor-in-chief reported that he was privy to a top-secret conversation involving Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Vice President J.D. Vance, among other important leaders. My question there was, why was that
Reporter
why was his name even in
that app.
in that app? Anyway, so that's what makes me think, this smells a little bit. Anyway, but what is Signal, you might be asking? And is it private? Signal, it says, is a secure messaging app with end-to-end encryption. The app also has a disappearing messages function and features like burning or photo blurring, rather. However, even with these settings in place, users must be careful when adding new members to private chats, and mobile devices can also be compromised by spyware. So it doesn't sound like it's super secure to me.
At least it wasn't just a general.
General text.
Yeah, general text.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This doesn't seem too much above that. I mean,
No, but at least they were trying to be.
I don't know. There's just a better place to talk about war plans.
Oh
if
no,
you
I'm
ask
I'm
me.
100%. This
Yeah,
is
I mean,
incredibly stupid.
Yeah, incredibly stupid. Yeah, I don't know how they come back from this one, but anyway, I love this story. It says 2/3 of adults I would be in this group would pay for their favorite retired items to be restored. Can you think of anything that is no longer that you would love to have back?
Yes, the banana flip.
Oh, that's out?
I haven't seen one in years.
Yeah, I don't know. That's another one of those things that stays on the store shelf that you should
Yeah,
never take out of the package
it's
and
like
eat.
the grandfather of the Twinkie.
Oof, duh.
I remember when I was a little kid, I used to walk down to Holiday gas station and get one of those. I think they were like 79 cents or something.
Yeah, they're probably $3.50 now.
And then
today
if
they
I
were
wanted to, if they weren't at Holiday, I'd have to walk to the bread store,
Oh
which
gosh.
wasn't that far away from Holiday.
Right. Well, anyway, they're mentioning some of the things that Americans said they would pay to bring them back. Among them, Sega and Nintendo consoles.
I've still got my
Do you?
Nintendo.
I
and,
never had either of
and
those.
my
so.
Sega, I bought they came out with all these little retro console things where, like, I've got a little retro Nintendo that's probably a little bit bigger than a deck of cards. And it's got a whole bunch of games preloaded on it. But my Sega one can actually take the cartridges from Sega. So if you've got an old Sega cartridge, you
Oh.
can put it in there and play it.
Okay.
Just as kind of a lark years ago at a clearance place, I bought an old John Madden game. Oh, wow, it's Madden, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
going to buy that.
Yeah.
I can't play it, but then I bought that little mini console for like 20
And
bucks.
sure enough,
I put it in there, and sure enough, it works.
Crystal Pepsi is another one that people would pay
They
to bring back.
tried to bring Crystal Pepsi back. I was one of the few people that enjoyed it. I remember it came out in the mid-'90s because they had used the Van Halen song Right Now as part of their campaign.
Okay, here is one that I was so mad went away, and I would have paid to get it back, and that is my BlackBerry phone. Did you ever have a BlackBerry?
I did not have a BlackBerry.
Oh my gosh, a BlackBerry, and I've been watching this Netflix series, and it must be set, they jump all over in terms of time, and one of the things they use is a BlackBerry. A BlackBerry was about the size of a deck of cards.
Yeah.
And it had a big screen, and it had the whole, just like you type on a typewriter,
Yep.
it had that whole keyboard right there. And man, could I kick out the emails on that thing.
You could
I
thumb
could
it?
type I could type so fast, and then it had a roller ball to scroll.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so in none of this touch business, it had this little ball, and you rolled the ball in order to scroll. But I really, really missed the BlackBerry. I hung on till the day they shut off the BlackBerries.
Really?
Because that was terrible for me. And then to go from that to a touch screen took me a really long time. And typing for me on a touch screen for so long was so hard. And I gotta say, I see some people type. I can't believe how fast they can type.
I think you can get. I'd be shocked if you went to Amazon or one of these places that there isn't a BlackBerry attachment or keyboard attachment for your phone,
there
where you can just
probably
put it in your
is.
C port and then click your phone into it
Yeah,
and then
maybe.
thumb it.
That's maybe not a bad idea. I might look for that. But BlackBerry phones in the day, I don't know that I would do it now because it would take too long to go back to that. And there's a lot of things that a BlackBerry couldn't do that your
smartphone
current phone does. But
But yeah, they were kind of the leading thing to have if
oh
you're a
my
business.
gosh, yeah, I missed the BlackBerry so much. iPods, I still have my iPod.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got my
Problem
iPod.
is, I don't think I have anything to charge it with.
Didn't I give you a charger? Oh wait, no, it was a different charger.
No, but you can get them. I
Yeah.
know you can get them. And in fact, I just cleaned out the console in my car because I'm going to have it detailed. And there was a charger for my iPod in there, but I have no idea where the iPod is now, so I ditched it. Because yeah, I couldn't remember how to download music. I couldn't remember how to do anything on it, so I got rid of it. Anyway, and bubblegum jeans, whatever that is. I actually even looked it up, and it's a style, and oftentimes they were pink. But it was
Okay.
a style more than it was. Um, I don't think it was a brand. I think it was a style.
Mm.
So I was not familiar with bubblegum jeans. While nostalgia can spark preference, true loyalty is built on experience. A great experience keeps customers coming back, and now and how a brand engages plays a critical role in long-term commitment. Remember, I think it was then President Obama used a BlackBerry, and everybody in government was using BlackBerries. And they were during the time when when
Shut it
BlackBerry was
down,
going to
yeah.
be done. Yeah. And I remember that being a big deal in Washington too, when they didn't get to use their BlackBerries anymore. Let's see what else we have for you. Here's a good one. So this guy lives in a neighborhood where there is an HOA. There's rules and
Yep.
regulations about what you can and cannot do, what you can put in your yard, just rules for your neighborhood to keep it.
And a lot of them are ridiculous.
Well, sometimes they are. Well, here is a guy. He was fined $50 because his garbage cans were exposed. Oh dear. I know a lot of people who have their garbage cans outside
Yeah.
because you probably don't have room in your garage.
Exactly.
We've got a third stall, so I've got a place to put them inside. But not everybody has that.
Yeah, ours are outside.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people store them outside just for room. Anyway, so he gets charged $50. He didn't like that at all. He said, they said I can either put my trash cans in the garbage, sorry, in the garage. Sorry, I said garbage. Put your trash cans in the garage. But if you don't have room, and this guy said, hey, the garage is my home gym. I don't have room for the garbage cans in my garage. Or I can erect a fence to cover them. So anyway, he said to get back at the association, he constructed a black bat house on his lawn. In his area, bat sanctuaries are protected, and the HOA cannot tell him to get rid of it.
Oh.
So he comes up with the eyesore. And anyway, viewers that were reading saw his stuff on TikTok were really cheering him on, and they kept saying, "Hey, we want to know when the bats move in." So we'll see how that goes.
That's funny.
I think that is a little funny.
The one I always enjoyed was somebody was complaining in the HOA that they could see their boat. We can see your boat. You got to hide your boat.
Oh my
So what he
goodness.
did is he painted a huge mural. He took a photo of his boat in his garage, and then he painted that on the side of the garage.
Oh my.
It's just like, hey, you can't tell me how to paint my house.
That's right. Oh boy. Yeah, it can be. I mean, I can understand if things get messy and junky.
Yeah.
And gosh, I got to tell you, there's a couple of those spots in town that are pretty awful. And I can't imagine that the city of Fergus Falls can't do something about that. I don't know what those rules and regulations are for a private homeowner. I mean, can they tell you, hey, you got way too much junk littering your yard and your
It has to be
driveway?
really
Well,
bad.
I could give you a couple of addresses. It's really bad. And if I were neighbors, I would hate it just from the looks of it. But I'd be worried about rats and mice and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff in there too. Um, anyway, and there's also I'm wondering if the county has any.
Not in the city.
Okay, no, but I mean, let's say we're out in the county.
Oh, okay.
So we've got a spot where we turn to go to the cabin, and this guy,
Oh,
he
yeah.
just collects junk. That's
Yep.
what he does.
Yeah.
And it's such an eyesore. It's awful.
It's right where the old Otter Supper Club
Yeah,
was. Yep.
no, the Pelican Supper Club.
Yeah. Wasn't
Yeah.
it also called the? No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Pelican Supper.
Yep. And then it was called the Pelican, and then it was called. I mean, it was called.
Yeah.
But I mean, the guy has gone to jail a couple of times for it, and he's like, well, I'll just sit in jail then. And then they let him out, and he just keeps doing his deal. So evidently, the county, and I think they told him he had to erect a fence,
He has.
which he is kind of in the throes of doing. It's taking a very long time. And the fence is just about as ugly as all the garbage
Yeah, it's an
and
ugly
all the
fence.
stuff. Anyway, what can be done about that? There's another place, I'm not going to say where, but just north of town that is starting to get really awful too. And this group has already moved from another site where the county said, hey, if we'll give you this piece of property if you move all your stuff and we get to clean this up. So they did, and now we're starting to kind of see it creep into the new spot. So I don't know. Every time I drive on that road, I think, okay, there's more stuff. There's more stuff. There's more stuff.
That first person you talked to or talked about, he's got a relative that works here.
Oh, okay.
That's how I got all the juicy details.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's a disgrace.
Yeah.
And
It's
and that is
nasty.
not the only spot that he has. He's got stuff everywhere. And I mean, again,
It's an eyesore. Yeah.
oh, it's an eyesore. It's just awful. Here we are in this beautiful lakes country, and then you get to look at all that junk. And he's not doing anything with it. I
Nope.
mean, that's what I just don't
He
get.
just collects it
I
because
think it's
we
just an illness. I don't know.
we drove by it on their way up to Frazee to
Yeah,
do a
it's
where to
terrible.
eat, and I'm like, what's up with this? And he goes, yeah, he's just kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, it's awful. And I want to stop and put up a sign that says, this is a disgrace. But that wouldn't even matter to him because
Nope.
he doesn't care what it looks like. Anyway. All right. Cherry blossom season is underway in our nation's capital. If you've ever been in D.C. in the spring, it's spectacular.
I've never seen it.
The National Park Service has announced that the cherry trees in D.C. have reached stage 5, puffy white.
Ooh.
Now we're just waiting on them to open, and peak bloom is coming up next, and that's when you start to see all the pink. And anyway, Washington, D.C.'s blossoms, which surround the tidal basin, were a gift from Japan in 1912. Last year, 1.6 million visitors came to D.C. just to see the cherry blossoms.
I saw all the cherry trees with like no leaves when we were there.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
oh man, that would have been cool to see.
It is pretty spectacular. It is beautiful. They don't last very long,
No.
so it's hard to plan a trip to DC to see them because weather, determines when
Yeah.
they bloom. Ready? Do we have time for a trivia question?
Oh yeah, we got a couple minutes.
Okay, these are Walt Disney ones, and this goes way back. If you get these, well, anyway, what was the last movie that Walt Disney worked on before he died?
Oh wow. Ooh.
It's an older one.
Let's go Mary Poppins.
Jungle Book.
Oh, okay.
What was the name of the man cub in Jungle Book? You might get this one.
Oh, it starts with an M.
Yes, you're right.
Mogwai,
You're very close. You know, Mowgli.
Oh, there we go.
Yep, Mowgli. Wow, good for you.
I was at least in the ballpark. I haven't seen the Jungle Book since I was a little kid.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen the whole thing. Mowgli.
I just know bare necessity.
The only reason I know I even recognize that name or know how to pronounce it because I never saw the whole movie, but we had neighbors who'd named their dog that.
Oh, okay.
Mowgli. Yeah, because it kind of looked like that. Anyway, okay, so I mentioned this once before, but I'm so excited and I want to be like the first customer in line. Uncle Eddie's opens tomorrow.
Ooh.
So if that doesn't make you feel like spring and summer, even if we get cold, crappy weather this weekend, the good news is you can go indoors and enjoy ice cream and make it feel like it's spring and summer because Uncle Eddie's is open.
I'm looking forward to that. It's within walking distance of my house, so I might walk there and burn the calories on the way there, burn the
That's a
calories
great
on the way
idea.
back.
I
and
might do the same.
I know Dairyland's getting close too.
Yeah, I bet they're getting close too.
I think that's
And
next
now,
week.
thankfully, Dairy Queen is open all year,
Yep.
so we get to take advantage of that all the time. But yeah, the first thing I'm going to have is salted caramel nut, either in a waffle cone or a sugar cone. I'm not sure which. I haven't decided.
100%. I do the waffle.
Would you?
The waffle
It's just
cones.
so much ice cream. I mean, you order a single scoop and it's like more ice cream than I can ever eat. Well,
But I mean,
maybe I'll do it.
I always remember. I always loved the waffle
love the
cones
cones.
because when I was a little kid, we used to walk into town in Battle Lake, go to Granny's.
Yes.
And they'd be sitting there in the
Is
window
Granny
making.
still a thing?
Yeah, they're ideally they're back open. I mean,
Okay.
I think they eventually paid their taxes and
Okay.
we'll be back open.
Good deal. All right. Well, coming up on 10 o'clock, that is going to do it for the show on a Wednesday. Thanks to you for joining us. Our show today is brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Falls Monument Company. Have a great Wednesday.